Let me talk to the men out there listening real quick. Guys, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction, fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, sleep disturbances? Hey, low libido, ask your girlfriend or wife. She'll let you know if you're suffering from that or not. That's sex drive. If you'll text my name, Clay, in all caps to 601-327-8550, 601-327-8550, Men's Health of Mississippi and the Clay Edwards Show are going to hook you up with a free testosterone screening. They're located in Madison, Mississippi at 120 Fountains Boulevard. You can check them out online, menshealthms.com. But one more time, text my name, all caps, Clay, to 601-327-8550 and get your free testosterone screening scheduled today. Enjoy the rest of this show.
All right, folks, we're back. And it is Thursday. Glad to be back here in the studios. This is your host. Been a 22-hour hiatus, and we're back in the saddle again. Hotline numbers brought to you by EliteRoofer.com, 601-879-0002. That's the hotline number. The people sponsoring that Elite Roofer has a number that you can call, keep handy when you need your first, second, or third estimate. You know, we live in Tornado Alley here in Mississippi, so inclement weather could pop up at any time, straight line winds, destroying your roof, rather. In the exterior of your home, well, EliteRoofer.com can handle all that for you. So keep this number handy, or this website, EliteRoofer.com. The number over there is 326-2755. All right. It is an open forum here today. We got a couple things I want to get off. Did get a letter from one of the listeners, Mr. Fred. We're going to talk about Fred's letter a little bit here because he raised an interesting, a legitimate concern, and I accept it in the spirit in which he offers it here to WYB and on the Kim Wade Show. But we'll talk about that later on. The president has not bombed Iran with the mother of all bombs just yet, but it's coming. It's got to happen at this point here. But, you know, I was listening to Laura Loomer, I believe it was. Or Charlie Kirk, one of the two, one of the shows that preceded Radio Strongman. And they were talking about what happened to Gaddafi, and they're absolutely right. Why should Iran take the word of America that, okay, get rid of your nuclear weapons and nothing happened to you? No, they're going to kill you anyway. That's what's going to happen. So I anticipate now if it were me, if I got a nuclear weapon, I'm going to launch it. You can believe that without hesitation. So this is what I anticipate them doing. Whatever they got, they're going to use. And I don't blame them. Now, they may not be successful with it, but that's their problem. But at the same time, if death is on the menu, you might as well go down swinging. Don't go out like a buster. So hat tip to them. Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, a perfect example of you can't trust the West, you can't trust America to keep their word. So, you know, in those movies, you see the bad guy, the woman is drawn down on him with a gun, and the bad guy says, "Oh, you don't want to shoot. You don't want to do that. No, you don't." And the woman gets to second guessing herself and decides to drop the gun, and next thing you know, she's being raped and murdered. That's how it happens. I remember as I was in high school. I worked at a parking lot there in Joliet, Illinois, right across from the courthouse, Will County. And the older guy, the name is Moley. We called him Moley. Anyway, make a long story short, we got into a tussle. And, you know, I was a little light in I was probably about 130, 40 pounds. Make a long story short, I picked up a pipe or a wrench or something I was going to hit him with. And I said, no, I don't need this pipe. Threw the pipe. Now, before the pipe hit the ground, he bust me in my eye. I got a scar over my eye to this day. So when you got the upper hand, baby, use it. In the same way here. If you got the upper hand, Israel and America over the Iranians at this point, use it. Now, if you come up short, now this is the same thing I said during the October 7th massacre of Israelis by the Hamas. My whole thing is, it's not a matter whether I'm for Hamas or for the Israelis. If you swing on the king and you don't knock him out, you need to be prepared to take whatever comes. So my whole thing is whoever you are, if you decide to go nuclear, if you decide to go and slap Mike Tyson, you need to be prepared for whatever comes after that. So don't ask me to get on your side. You need to get on the side of right, or you need to get inside of might. But don't be calling me to backstop you, because you're on your own, homie. But just want to let you know that Iran really has no other choice. Whatever they got, they're going to have to use it, because they're going down, and they're going down fast. So I would just encourage you to just be patient. I don't know how it's all going to turn out. Scripture tells us that this could very well be portion or part of the end time events that we're watching unfold here. It could very well be that we're watching unfold the ushering in of the Antichrist, or the type of Antichrist, in one who brings about peace throughout the world. And turns out he's just the evil guy himself. And could that be Donald Trump? I don't know. I'm not an expert on the Bible like Barbara Mike. And Barbara Mike has said in enough of the what was that guy's name? Used to come to the Pentecostal churches all the time. The prophecy guy. I can't think of his name. But anyway, he was really good. So I know Mike knows. He's been exposed to it. So maybe he'll come. As a matter of fact, if there's somebody out there who's feel like they're competent in discussing some end time, and I know you'll get a lot of different versions of it, pre-trib, post-trib, and whatever, to come in and discuss that, you're more than welcome to do it. Set up a time. We'll bring you in here. You can tell us what you see based on your understanding of scriptures, and maybe you can enlighten us and others can add on to it. But that's something that's available, because I would like to know more also. Can't think of that guy's name. Oh, he was Baxter. Yeah, Baxter. What was it? I can't think of his first name. But he was really, really popular coming around here. I don't know if he's passed on or not. I haven't heard of him coming to town here lately, in years anyway. But he was really, really good on end time scripture. But we're seeing how this is going to play out, and we're going to I'm giving the president leeway. He has demonstrated his Irvin Baxter. That is exactly who it is. Thank you, Miss Producer. You do good work over there. And when Bobcat was alive, he would always do just what you just did. He would be my lifeline. And we miss old Bobcat. The cat has ascended onto the throne, next to the throne of grace. So it's good to have folks out there like that. Thank you again. But now, President Trump has earned my he has earned my respect to be able to conduct war. He is not a warmonger. He's not a Roger Wicker or the Cindy Hyde Smith, these people who just want to go to war because there's money in it for them. I don't know how many more millions of dollars this guy needs. I guess once you start taking the money, you can't tell him no. Kind of like the drug cartel have the Democrats leadership by the shorts, and they have no other choice but to show up at these detention centers and act the fool. Caller, you're on the air.
What's going on, Kim?
Hey, my friend, how are you?
I'm all right. You kind of stole my thunder a little bit there, and I'm just gonna kick some things around with you.
All right, bless us with your words.
I'm listening to some of your predecessors on your channel in the morning, and several of them are quite disturbed by the fact that Trump would even consider involving ourselves by using bunker busters and what have you, because, it's kind of like this is supposed to be a different administration. Bush did the same thing. Bush 1 did the same thing. Here we are again. We're in the Middle East. We're poking our nose in other folks' business. And it's kind of like, hey, I've heard this song and dance before.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump, big thing was he didn't want to be involved in wars, but yet he's kind of going, there's no telling what I might do. And then secondary, if you drop that bomb, the bunker buster, you're going to have nuclear fallout when that uranium hits the atmosphere.
Not necessarily, because, they're saying, 300 meters below ground. And we bury nuclear material waste that deep, and we don't worry about it coming back up. I believe if they bomb it, it's going to be safe down there. And it may not be safe to build upon, but as far as it just getting all into the atmosphere, you might get a few leaks here and there, but, you're going to have some eggshells if you're going to have some eggs in the morning.
I'm going to tell you what now, you're going to have some folks going to be mighty pissed off if they're dealing with nuclear fallout. And anybody east of there if the prevailing westerlies move those across, you could even drift as far as the Red China, and then we would truly have a China syndrome, if you remember that movie.
Yeah, I do remember. What's going on here? I do remember the China syndrome movie. At the end of the day, what is it, Hiroshima? They're over there partying like it's 1999. They're doing better than we were. Matter of fact, they should have bombed a couple of our American cities to get the kind of growth that Hiroshima's experienced under the nuclear fallout as a result of them being bombed. So I don't know. I am not buying. I mean, I understand if you sit up there and hold uranium in your hand, you're going to have some issues. But I'm just not buying it that it's going to be the end of the world. No, you don't want to necessarily have it in their atmosphere or be breathing it, but bomb them anyway. Well, let's see what happens. I'll take my chances.
Well, and to kind of address a quote, death to America. Yeah, they've been screaming death to America since 1972. I mean, that's not going to stop. You know, it's just it's kind
of. Well, what would you do?
Let Israel handle it. Back them up, give them what they need, but Israel can take care of business. Let them handle it.
Well, again, what Israel wants are the mother of all bombs dropped. So either we got to give them the B-52s or we got to drop them ourselves. Which would you prefer?
Well, whatever does not involve us to the circumstance where we are actually putting assets, and I'm going to use that term as a broad, assets into play. Now, if you're using things in a defensive fashion, okay. But I'm just, them folks been fighting.
Well, let me ask you this here. Well, think about it. If, for instance, if nuclear fallout is the issue or concern, well, what happens if they get the bomb and they blow it up?
That's true, but they would have done that, not us.
Duh. Does that make any sense? I mean, you still got to breathe it if you're worried about it getting into the atmosphere is my point.
Right. But here's the deal, okay? If the Iranians drop a nuclear device and they cause that to take place, of course, they're going to be the bad guys. They're going to be the guys that put that in the atmosphere, and we got to deal with all that. But if we do it, it's kind of like some of these movies with the superheroes are going in and defending everybody, but they're tearing everything up while they do it,
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The bottom line is we got a chance to stop this stuff, keep the in other words, if there's going to be a nuclear explosion, then let it be on their property. Don't let them just get it and then they bomb somewhere where they want to do it. No, let's get them now. No, I understand what you're saying from a principle standpoint, but sometimes in life it's not a straight line to where you're trying to go.
It's just true. I just keep reflecting back to weapons of mass destruction that were never found.
Well, that don't mean that they weren't there just because we didn't find them. I mean, we gave them plenty of time to get rid of whatever they wanted to get rid of. But now in this particular case, I don't know where they're going to put all that uranium. I mean, if you start moving it around, it's going to be detectable from the air. I don't know. My whole thing is let's bomb them anyway. And if we get it wrong, then I'll issue an apology.
95% of what Donald Trump does, I'm on board with. But this is such a tricky, volatile, contradictive circumstance, and you're dealing with these knuckleheads that have been fighting each other since the beginning of time.
But you're making the case for bombing them, though. That's what I'm saying. If they're that unstable, what would you do if I say, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill your whole family? And you see me, and you see me taking steps to do that, what do you do?
I do what my daddy used to do when me and my brother fought. He said, okay, fine, let's get in the backyard. Y'all get after it.
Well, that ain't going to happen.
Y'all get after it. I'm going to stand right here until one of y'all beats the crap out of the other one. Then we're not going to do this anymore, because if you do it again, then I'm going to whip you. And you know what? We stopped.
Well, all right, brother. We'll agree to disagree. My whole thing is bomb them. Bomb them anyway. Look, Trump is entitled to one mistake, okay? So let it be this one here. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, buddy.
Who do we have? Caller, you on there. You are live. How you doing? Hello. Earth. Hello. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back and it is Thursday. Hey, I want to remind you, real estate agent extraordinaire, Rita Jensen. Rita Results Jensen earned that name because she gets results. I tell people, when you're out interviewing agents, when you think about listing your property, make sure you're prepared to move, because when you interview Rita, I'm telling you, you sign her up, son, you're going to be saying, I didn't know she's going to bring a contract that quick. Be ye prepared. That's why we call her Results. So when you want it done right, 3 decades plus in the business, she knows everybody up and down the real estate food chain. She knows how to get things done, how to hold deals together, and how to assure your home will be sold in a timely fashion. Check her out today. Go to ritajensen.net, JENSEN.net. Her number is easy to remember, 720-4037, area code 601. She guarantees the sale of your home. That's what she does. And you know what? She will buy, again, if you sell your home within 2 years after she sells it to you, you need to move for whatever reason, she'll sell it for free. I mean, the woman is just, look, her word is her bond. That's how she rolls. ritajensen.net. Who do we have? We got a caller. You're on the air.
Hey, strong man.
Hey, what up?
Hey, look, I have the solution to the Iranian mullah problem.
Mullah.
We just kind of leased those B-2 bombers, and along with the bomb on the thing, to the
Israelis.
To the Israelis, yeah, and just paint their flag on the things they have at it.
That's a good idea. That's right. Put the old Star of David on there, and hey, you know they rented it from Costco. They bought it from Costco, you know, along with the
we can just sell it to them and say we'll buy it back when you get done with it.
Well, my thoughts are, look, we got these guys. They are where they are. They got their butts in a crack over there, and we might as well take advantage of it. So what? People say, well, you're a bad guy. Whatever. They call you names anyway. So might as well err on the side of what works and what's right.
Those Iranians and those crazy radical mullahs are evil to the root. They want to kill everybody. They'll kill their own people, but they want to kill us. They want to kill the Israelis. Yeah, they want to take over the world. I say, let's wipe them off the map and start over again.
That's right. And guess what? They're going to be upset with you regardless. So you might as well, hey, put that pain on them, dog. So bomb them. And I'm not concerned.
Like you've always said, Kim, you put enough pain on somebody, they'll sit their butt down.
That's it, brother. And a 30,000-pound bomb, a couple of those ought to get their attention. And
well, yeah, those ground-penetrating bombs, put a couple of those things one after each other into the same hole.
That's
That'll
right.
get their attention.
Hey, you got that right. And that's what I would do. Look, at the end of the day, these people, if they hadn't been opening their mouths and talking all that trash about what they were going to do, it'd be a whole different ball game. But no,
right.
no, we're going to get you, sucker. Okay. Well, now you got God. You got God before you get yourself together.
Well, I'm glad we got somebody with the testicles enough to stand up to them.
Mm-hmm. Well,
All right, man.
Appreciate you,
Take
brother.
it easy. I'm going down the road.
All right, be safe. That's right, folks. We got Testosterone Don on the case, along with the headset and the Tulsi Gabbard and Christy Nome and all these folks. We got some folks out there who are ready. Look, we need to have this fight. We need to just quit shucking and jiving. Let's have this fight. Bomb them. Don't worry about, well, we're supposed to be going to war. I know we're supposed to be doing a whole lot of things. The man has to do what he thinks he has to do for this country. He is our representative. And if he thinks that's what we need to do, I trust Donald Trump, okay? Bomb him, Don. Bomb him. As a matter of fact, when you put the bomb on there, put some of those little, what are they, bouncing Bettys, or what do they call those little bombs that you just can't walk around over. Anyway, they got ways of making them squeal. And so it looks like the Iranian leadership have escaped to Oman, which is good. Trump, he's playing this just right. At the end of the day, do not doubt Donald Trump, okay? Don't doubt him. Folks, I got a couple things. I got two things. The young lady lost her life out there at the McDonald's in Brandon. Y'all, folks, listen to me. I got at Bible study last night, the person who owns the building knows one of the members, family members of one of the people involved in that. Folks, if I can get the words to tell you, this is a Kingston Frazier type heart tug on your heart. After I tell you this, you're going to want to hear it, but you're going to wish you never heard it. It is the saddest thing you're going to hear. It disturbed my evening. The girl was drug out of the car. He was driving the car. And shot on the pavement. Her 3 and 5-year-old kids were in the car. The 5-year-old can't get out of her head. Mommy bleeding out her eye. That is, dude, it's just, our society is sick. The black community is sick. I got a letter from one of our listeners who said, sometimes I just turn you off when you keep pointing out the failures of the black community and yada, yada. Brother, we're sick. Our community is sick. We can't pass this off to another generation. We can't bring in immigrants to address this problem. Our community is dying. This young man, like many of these young men and women out here on the streets, they have no emotional maturity. They don't know how to interact with folks. Remember when I was telling you about what the Japanese have been doing over there in their schools? The first 8 years of these kids' education, they don't get exams, they don't get tests. They receive the training in reading, writing, and arithmetic, but their day is filled with chores that allow them to learn how to work amongst one another, how to disagree with one another, how to get along with people when you do disagree. The black community is not teaching this anymore, and it's not being taught in the school. We're drifting. Fred was the gentleman who sent me the letter. Fred, the reason why I do it, because we're drifting. Now, Fred, you and I, we've had a good run, brother. We had good careers, good retirement, life is good. These young kids they're growing up like weeds. So now the grandparents have to folks, and he showed me a picture of the girl and the babies look like angels. And that little 5-year-old's got to go the rest of her life seeing the last picture of her mama bleeding out her eyes. In black leadership, want to move on to another subject. They want to talk about everything other than what the heck we need to be doing, getting our act together. We're out of control. The preachers don't care. They too busy trying to do deals, trying to make shepherd's pie out of their sheep that they've been entrusted with. Our community is sick. You don't want to hear it. I understand that. Change the channel. We're going to have the same problems tomorrow. But it's because of people like you that don't want to address, don't want to be men, grab the bull by the horns, make these kids sit their butts down, teach them some things that will sustain them for the future. But as I told you, I'm not putting up with this selfish black leadership anymore. It's not going to happen, Hoss. So the message you hear on the Kim Wade Show, it's not going to change much. I will do national issues. Like when the COVID broke, I'll get knee deep into some stuff. But the black community is sick. And don't give me the equivalency crap. Don't tell me about what white people are doing also. Folks, there's another aspect of that story about the Brandon. I'm not going to say on the air because it's so personal to the family. But it's just more, our community is sick. We're sick. We're sin sick. And everybody just holding their luncheons, holding their banquets, holding their little this, that, and the other. Dude, the fundamentals, the 4 squares of scriptures is where everything needs to stay within if we're going to get this right. But if all you want to do is have transitory gains, Keep doing what you're doing. 3 and 5 years. They had to get rid of the car because every time the babies come outside, where mama? Mama bleeding out her eye. We'll be right back. All right, folks, just as I've been saying, this is the text I get from a black listener. Oh, so it don't bother white folks that their community's sick too? That's what I'm saying. We're not going to be able to fix anything in the black community. You got too many blacks who run interference against doing anything right. He can't even just be quiet and say, man, we need to correct this. This is no. It's always this equivalency crap, and it's always being spouted by black Democrats. I'm telling you, the black community got ruined by their relationship with the Democrat Party. Black Democrats are worse than the Klan. They're not going to fix anything. They're not going to make anything better. They're out for themselves. They will kill our babies in the womb. They will fight anybody who will try to prevent them from killing the babies in the womb. They won't educate our kids. They won't spend time with the kids. Well, I do it. Oh. So you do it with your kids. So you, and here's the thing, John, and the Black Caucus members, they all got above average kids. Like they, I guess, came from Lake Wobegon. Above average in all areas. Well, we understand that. But do you understand what the problem is? Is that there's not a sufficient percentage of blacks doing it right to sustain our community. Just like your desire to gain weight, to lose weight, to do whatever, you got to reach a certain level of dissatisfaction with your situation before you get up off your butt and make the change. So when you come back and say, well, they doing it in the white community, they got a little bit more wiggle room, if you will. We don't have that. We're scraping the bottom right now. You don't care. You just want a good damn excuse so you can sit around and be trifling. I'm not like Fred, with all due respect to the guy who wrote the letter, with all due respect, I'm not putting up with this. Black people are full of crap. They're ruining not only for our own community, they're ruining for everybody around us. And don't want to change. All we want is more stuff. You ain't getting it. Like I said, if I got to join the Klan, hell, I won't even wear a hood. I'll let you know I got on a Klan uniform. I will roll up on you, dog. For with the evil that you're doing to the black community, I would have no problems putting some magic on you, bro. Because what you're doing is wrong. You're stealing. You're stealing in the name of blackness. You don't fix nothing. Our kids are running amok. Our community's nasty. And then we out here celebrating Juneteenth. Like we all unified around blackness. If we're so unified, pick up the damn paper. Let the people who organize the Juneteenth thing say, no, instead of dancing and shaking our butts, we're going to pick up trash. Ain't nobody interested in doing that because we're full of crap. CRAP exclamation point. But everybody try, oh, this is Juneteenth. Like I said, to me, Juneteenth, the celebration, the holiday is an affront to us. What the white Democrats did by giving us as a day off after working us for 2 years for free. No, we want a check, fool. But the check that would have went to us, black Democrats gladly gave it to the immigrants and fighting to keep them in the country. Everything we do is backwards and makes no sense. Huh? We got a caller on the line. Caller, please, go ahead. You on the air?
All right, Mr. Wade.
What's up? Hey, Nate.
How's it going today, Mr. Wade?
Our brother's green lights and blue skies where it's supposed to be for a believer.
Well, I tell you, I got to disagree with you on the president attempting, even thinking about attacking Iran. Now, I'm going to...
I thought you was Nathan. Here's the thing, John. Go ahead.
President Donald Trump is a deal maker. Remember, he's a diplomat. He wants to solve all of these crises without any loss of life. So why is he allowing Israel to drag him into this and stroke his ego when we know what happens when we try to nation build, Mr. Wade? We can go back to Iraq. We can go back, like you said.
Well, let me ask you this here. Did you hear our beloved president, the golden hair one, the real president? Did you hear him say out of his mouth anything about nation building?
But see, that's the problem. If you go in there and Israel is telling him, "Oh, we want regime change," well, guess what? You go in and you break it, you own it. Now you need a peacekeeping force because you don't know what you're going to get.
I understand that, but did you hear our beloved president say that? You're making the assertion that this is the case, sir. Now, Israel, in fact, may want regime change. Trump wants them to have a diminished capacity to create and develop a nuclear bomb. He said that.
Now let me ask you one more question. Does this not sound like the same story we heard when Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction?
No.
See, Mr. Wade, you need to listen to Tucker Carlson. He's making sense on this one. Charlie Kirk, they're making sense on this one. We've heard this story.
Sir, we heard it. Listen. Donald Trump says this is what we need to do. What I suggest you do, sit your butt down somewhere and enjoy good government and strong leadership, sir. He's not George Bush.
Answer.
He's not Bill Clinton. He's not the gay Obama. Sir, he's not Joe Biden. He's Donald
if he
J.
was Obama, let me tell you a secret. Do you know why?
If he was Obama, he'd be over there on his knees with knee pads, sir.
No. See, you know what? If Obama was here, guess what? Israel would have never attacked Iran. You know why? Because
Obama's a Muslim.
We're not going to do that.
Because Obama's a Muslim, and he would have came in on the side of Iran.
Obama is a chess player. He understands the middle game and the end game, sir. Donald Trump doesn't understand the end game. Once you break it, you own it. Colin Powell said that. If you break it,
sir,
you own it. Look at how long we were in Iraq and Afghanistan.
May I make a suggestion to you?
Sure.
Find something else to worry about, sir. Worrying about what Donald Trump does is not your ministry, sir. Your ministry is to poor people, Democrat heads, hookers, hoes, con men, grifters, and your usual suspects in the coalition that makes up the Democrat Party, sir. That's your concern. Stay in your lane.
Let's move on to my next point. See, the reason it's my lane because those are my tax dollars, sir. When you go, we already in debt, $33 trillion. Now you want to go and start a war, which is going to cost us another $2-3 trillion.
So,
okay.
You had no problem spending $2 or $3 trillion on illegals. Sir, may I suggest you do something? Shut the hell up. Let's take a break.
Check this out.
Bye. All right. Now, every now and then you got to shut John down because that boy will run out if you allow him. But not here. I'll break it up at the door. That's the way I roll. All right, folks. I want to remind you also, Rapid Tire and Rapid Oil Change. Folks, wherever you need those fluids changed in your car, I recommend you use Rapid Oil Change. They're located throughout central Mississippi. And this one here is located 953 Highway 80 in Clinton, right across from Walmart. And right behind Rapid Oil is Rapid Tire Exchange, where you can get everything done to the undercarriage of your car, brakes, struts. You got steering problems. You need alignments. You need your AC checked. Folks, they take good care of you to keep you rolling. And if you need to order tires, you can get any kind of tire you need for any kind of motorized vehicle. So check it out, rapidtireexchange.com. There you can click on that website, set up your appointment, order your parts, and have everything done online. I commend them to you highly. And if you need heavy engine repair, folks, they've got recommendations of shops they use that you'll receive the same quality service that you'll receive there from Rapid Tire Exchange when you're dealing with your brakes and your struts and all that kind of stuff. So I commend them to you highly. Do it today, not tomorrow. If you're looking for employment, now they've got many long-term employers. Some has been with them since the opening of it almost 40 years ago. So if you're looking for a good, nice work environment and you got a good work ethic, check them out, rapidtireexchange.com, or just visit one of the locations, okay? So check it out today. All right, one thing I do want to mention, folks, when we get done doing all these things, yes, we can shoot all these permutations about why we can't do this and why we shouldn't do that. You know, starting wars is not something this president is apt to do. And if he says that there's a need for us to take this move right now, I defer to him. He has earned it. Barack hasn't. George Bush hasn't. None of these other folks have. Everything they've done has been just like what they tried to set the president up to go to war with Russia. And, that's one of the prayers that I have for the president, is that the Lord stay the hands of the evildoers who try to do this man harm, try to do our country harm, and then reveal their hands. And the Lord has done that. He continues to do that. No, I roll with President Trump. I understand what Tucker's saying, and he's absolutely right. But at the end of the day, there are sometimes just like people don't believe, in murder. They don't believe in this, that, and the other. Look, some people didn't believe in divorce till they got married. Oh, boy, I believe in it now. Woo, free the man, free the man. And so it's the same thing here. You may not believe in that, I don't believe in that we have to go to war, but sometimes you have to. So you want him to ignore and put the nation in danger, put the world in danger, because he wants to try to maintain coherence in what you believe is the integrity of his word, America first, etc. When in fact, because of his angle of acuity, where he sits at the top of the pile as president of the United States, he sees that this is, as they say, an existential danger to all of humanity. What can you do when these people promise to do these things to you? That's why some of the abortion protesters, anti-abortion protesters, have gone to jail, because they saw kids being murdered and they had to do something. Now, you may say, I'm not going to do it. That's because you don't have that same level of courage, integrity, or willingness to put it all on the line. President Trump has done it. He has rolled the dice big time, put his life, his fortune, his family's legacy, everything on the line, because he saw these things be possible to do. I believe and support Donald Trump. Trump, if you need to bomb him, smithereen. As far as the escaping of the nuclear material, whatever. Because if they drop a bomb, it's going to escape anyway. This is going to be the pain of childbirth. If you're going to fall, you're going to fall forward, just like in football. So, President, fall forward if that's what you got to do. Bomb them, bomb them, bomb them. Now, there was one other point that I wanted to make. Going back, like I said, I got a letter from Fred, and Fred was just saying, Kim, look, I like your show. He said, but I do. You're constantly, raising this issue about the shortcoming of black people. Dude, we have got to change. Who else is saying it? I'm one station, and ain't no black talk show host, no white talk show host going to say it. And it needs to be said. These black professionals, they are ripping us off. The black community is being ripped off. The deal that John Horn appears to have made with the state legislature and all these other folks, we're going to let y'all basically have your way with the water sewer money when Ted Hennepin leaves, and whatever y'all do with the minority side contract, that'll be your cut. But that's not good for the community. That's good for them. But now, if that's what you want, fine. But you think you're going to sit up here and get what you want, get what you asked for, and then come back and point your bony finger of indignation at white people as being the source or reason why you don't have things working in your community? You're full of crap, and I'm going to call you out on it. Because you know what? These things are fixable. We can't have things working in our community only because of you. Well, that ends. It ends here with me. I'm like Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of y'all. This needs to be done. And when I think about young Kiana losing her life over there and the circumstances, there's so much dysfunction in our community. And we're just thinking one more grant, one more certificate, one more plaque. If we could get one more dollar, if we get one more DEI hired, if we get one more black person in a position of power and authority to do nothing, we'll be okay. No, we're not going to be okay. We're losing our kids. Now, you may not give a damn about our kids. I do. And that's all I need. I don't need you to co-sign me. So, Fred, I love you, brother. I appreciate you being out there. I appreciate you listening when you do. But I'm not backing up, not backing down. Black folks, we're going to change. As I said before, what we're getting ready to witness here in the next 4 years is the collapse of the black elite under the weight of their lies. The crown they're trying to wear, it weighs too much. And they don't realize it now, but they will before it's all over. Let's take a break.
Welcome back in. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO, the Clay Edwards Show, here live on 103.9 FM WYAB, streaming in stunning HD at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Just search Clay Edwards Show on Rumble, and it's Save JXN everywhere else. Also, give us a follow on X and TikTok as well as IG. That's Instagram, at Save JXN or at Clay Edwards Show. We have 2 TikToks, we have 2 Instagrams, and we have 2 YouTubes. At Clay Edwards Show, that's where you get all the clips, reels, short forms of this show. At Save JXN is where you get the live streams and all the custom-made content for those platforms. Just follow both. There's none of the same content on either one. At Clay Edwards Show, at Save JXN. All right, man, this segment brought to you by our friends over at our good friends at... We have so many great partners. It's like, where do you start? How about Acme Pizza and Daiquiris? Chip Matthews, our 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. host right here at WYAB. His pizza joint and restaurant over there on the reservoir right in front of Fannin Lanes at Fannin Mart. That's Acme Pizza and Daiquiris, some of the best pizza in the South. I mean, real talk. I'm not just saying it because I know Chip or because he's a partner here on the show. The pizza really is that dang good over there. Swing by, get it today. They got 9 different specialty pizzas, 12 different frozen daiquiris on tap. Did you know the daiquiris you can get to go? That's right, frozen daiquiris to go. Can't beat that. Get a bag of daiquiri. They come in there's like this freezer bag looking thing with a handle on them. Pretty cool. If you're having a party, hosting an event, going out on the boat, going four-wheeler riding, whatever, going fishing, need some daiquiris? Acme Pizza and Daiquiris got you covered. To go. They get them delivered also. Try the pig. That's my favorite pizza there. Fresh smoked pork, fresh cooked bacon. If you're new here, I haven't talked about the pig in a while. It's cooked. The bacon is cooked. It's put on the top of the pizza raw. So when it goes to the pizza oven, it's cooked fresh, and the fat drizzles down into the mozzarella cheese. Oh, shut up and take my money. So good. Where most pizza places, they put pre-cooked bacon on their pizza. Not Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Try it today. And you can try the wheel of flavor. You don't want to commit to one of the specialty pizzas? Try 3 of them on one pie. And see if maybe you'll discover something you didn't know you liked. Maybe you didn't know you liked pineapples on pizza. Try it on a third of the pizza and find out. Only larges are available at Acme. It's kind of cool. No smalls, no mediums, no pans. Large. Come with an appetite or take some to go home. So I want to circle back. Well, I guess before I circle back to the Brandon Confederate statue thing, because WLBT does have a full story on it, I would tell you all about a individual who decided to drag me into some nonsense that I did not ask to get drug into. I intentionally have not covered this guy's stories of domestic violence, his stories of threatening elected officials, because he's, in my opinion, crazy. And sometimes you just don't want to deal with crazy, so you just intentionally ignore people. Well, I guess his want and need and craving for attention from me just got the best of him. He was mad I had not given him a effed around and found out championship. That man's name is Justin Fowler. Certifiably insane, again, in my opinion. Now, look, you can say anything you want to about me. I don't care. I'm a big boy, literally and figuratively. And I can handle the smoke. But when you drag my family into it, when you drag people into it that don't know you, and you start posting photos and making crazy accusations that are no way, no how true. If I think you're crazy, I believe crazy people. Call me old-fashioned. If somebody tells me they're crazy, I believe them. Because if you're a 40-plus-year-old dude and you're out here doing some of the nonsense this guy was doing, crazy is the only rational excuse for that behavior. Well, if you tell me you want all that smoke, I'm going to give it to you. And at 47 years old, all that smoke from me is walking my ass right into the Rankin County Sheriff's Department and filing charges on you. Not because I'm scared of you, but because if your dumbass shows up at my house or messes with mines, I need a record that you are a habitual line crosser. And Justin Fowler is just that, a habitual line crosser. He had just 2 weeks ago gotten sentenced to 10 years suspended and was on some type of parole, probation, zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. Not even a whole strike and you're out type paperwork situation. What does this dude do? Runs straight to the internet and goes crazy and starts stalking people digitally and making harassing threats and whatnot. And it wasn't just to me. Again, I have never had a conversation with this guy. I've never posted a video of this guy. I didn't give him the FAFO championship when he threatened County Prosecutor Trey Spillman and his wife showed up to his office with a knife after he said he was going to cut his ears off. Then he shows up to his office with a knife. I mean, that's textbook FAFO. I mean, he gets the guns drawn on him, tackled and drug out by the Rankin County Sheriff's Department. I got video of him assaulting his ex-wife. It's gross, disturbing. But he kept saying, Clay Edwards knows the truth. He sent me, he posted some crazy stuff on social media last week with pictures of my girlfriend and another lady that's the daughter of his ex-wife's former attorney, making all kind of crazy accusations, trying to tie them into the goon squad. I mean, just wild stuff. Wild stuff. Now he's in jail. Looking at most likely not getting out of jail again for 10 years. He had a sweetheart deal. Frankly, I'm shocked that he got the deal he got. 10 years suspended for what he did. I mean, look, I love that DA's office over there, and I think they do phenomenal work. I mean, that's the kind of deal I expect him to get in Jackson. I mean, this guy is a legitimate danger to others and himself. And now he'll get to think about it and marinate on it for the next 10 years in jail. And all of this was so avoidable. But he runs around with those two clowns in their referee outfits and their whistles, making stupid-ass videos, causing scenes at public meetings, whether it's in Pearl at City Hall there, their Board of Aldermen meetings, whether it's going to the Rankin County Jail and making ridiculous meetings. It's just it's a lack of accountability culture. These guys have all gotten themselves arrested, fired, something or another because of their actions, and they refuse to take any accountability for it. It's always somebody else's fault. I mean, that Justin guy, the Justin Fowler guy, and one of the idiots in the umpire jerseys or referee jerseys, whichever ones are white and black striped, made a video from inside the lobby at the Rankin County Sheriff's Department about 2 months ago. And I just watched it with my jaw in my hand at how ignorant it was. the white guy, Fowler, sitting there trying to explain how he got beat up by the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, and that one of the cops was black. And then he says something to the extent of, a black cop, that don't even make sense. As if black guys can't be cops. Y'all call me a racist, but I heard that and I'm like, damn, that was racist. He just said that blacks can't be cops in so many words. Why? Why can't black folks be cops? You think they're all criminals? You can't believe he passed the background check? Why is it surprising that a black guy's a cop? What would be way more surprising is if you were a cop. But you're an idiot. They're retards. Yes, we still say retard on this platform. And gay. And we're not necessarily talking about gays or mentally challenged people when we do so. I think that entire crew qualify as gay retards. Because that's how they're acting. Like gay retards. Again, sexual preference and mental stability aside. Or notwithstanding. Whatever smart people would say after that sentence. Just a clown show. But he made a post talking about my folks. And at the end of it, he said, and Clay Edwards, I want all the smoke. You got it. You got all the smoke. You effed around and found out. And now you're sitting in Rankin County without the ability to get on here and send people crazy messages. He posted screenshots of a message of a conversation he'd been having with himself in my DMs of my Instagram account, which I do not check the DMs of, from September 3rd, I think, all the way to December 30th. And the best I can figure is this guy wanted me to cover his story. He felt like the system had wronged him. The system did not wrong this guy. He has been arrested in Rankin County Jail 15 times. This is his 15th booking into Rankin County Jail. Now that don't even count where he may have been arrested anywhere else. 15 times. And most all of it, DUI, domestic violence. The system ain't out to get you, bro. It ain't the system. You need help. And hopefully over the next 10 years, while you're out there in whatever jail you end up in, you get that help. But I don't think it's going to matter. I think he's a nut job. And I think the second he gets out in 10 years, he's going to be a problem. Maria asked, how is he not a repeated offender? I don't know. Good attorney at the time. Who knows? I don't know how the convictions turned out on some of those. But what I do know is he was told by Judge Dewey Arthur when he got this 10 years suspended that if he even thought about doing anything stupid, it was getting revoked or whatever the technical saying is for it. And he was going to jail for 10 years. And again, it ain't my charges that are getting him sent back for 10 years. They're a part of it. Because I had to have a paper trail. I mean, you think about it. Some nut job shows up to your house and you have to kill him, shoot him, whatever. You're going to have to explain why you felt threatened enough to do it. I had to have a trail of receipts. I had to have a trail of receipts is why I pressed charges. Now, hopefully, God willing, it never comes to that. That is the last thing I ever want to have to do with anybody. I would rather take an ass whooping than have to kill somebody or shoot somebody. That is the last thing I ever want to do. And I would only do it if I felt like my life or my family's life were in imminent danger. I'm not above toting an ass whooping. I am above feeling like my family's life is threatened or my life is threatened. And if you come to my house, you've accomplished that. I was concerned about this crazy person showing up at my residence. And let that go for anybody out there listening to this that thinks they want to try the same thing. You can find out the same way. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB, streaming worldwide and stunning HD at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Guys, this segment brought to you by our friends out at, Tri-County Tree Service. All this rain going on, you know that ground's gotten wet. I got to have to come out to my house and build me a berm. Or is that what it's called, a burn? Where the water runs down, it has to be redirected because it's starting to flood my backyard so bad. I can imagine it's just that water just standing, getting under those roots of those trees. I'm probably going to have another tree cut down here soon myself. If I have that problem, I'm assuming a lot of you have that problem too. Ground's really wet. You may end up with some trees falling down, or a tree's about to fall down. Reach out to Russ Borland and the team out at Tri-County Tree Service. It was just last year we were in a national crisis of dead trees. It was literally an epidemic of dead trees. You don't want trees falling on your house, cars, in the road. I mean, man versus tree usually wins, unless you're Russ Borland and Tri-County Tree Service. Give them a call today, 601-940-5499, 601-940-5499. You see what I did there? I can't say 601. It's 601. It's the letter O. But then the number is 940, not 940-5499. Is anybody else guilty of doing that? Anyway, Tri-County Tree Service. Check them out if you need them. I want to mention something else. I ain't quite ready to move off these crazy people. And this is something I've been dealing with a while, and I don't talk about it much because I don't like bringing attention to it. Because my experiences with the public are overwhelmingly positive. And I don't like giving crazy people the attention that they so desperately desire. I don't mind talking about this one because this is just a rare, unique case of a guy that absolutely begged for it. He wanted the attention of the Clay Edwards Show and platform so bad. I mean, he had been tagging me in posts for weeks. I ignored him. I'm like, I'm not giving this guy attention. I've never talked about this guy. I don't have nothing to do with this guy. We're talking about Justin Fowler, who's sitting his ass out in Rankin County Jail right now, if you're just tuning in. But when he decided to post pictures of my girlfriend and start talking crazy stuff, and then at the bottom he had the audacity to say, Clay Edwards, I want all the smoke. Well, John Cena made more Make-A-Wish dreams come true than any other person in history. I just made a grown-ass Make-A-Wish kid's dream come true. He got all the smoke. He wanted it. He got it. But at 47 years old, my smoke looks a lot different, as I said in the last segment. Let that legal system work for you, not against you. I'll say something else that I hadn't told anybody. Me and a buddy of mine, who will remain nameless, were having lunch last Thursday. We're having lunch last Thursday. And I was telling, and that's when all this stuff had just happened where he started posting all this crazy stuff. It happened Thursday morning. So by the time I got off the radio show, I'm getting texts from everybody. It's like, man, have you seen what this crazy guy said about y'all? What he's posting online? And I was just telling my buddy about it at lunch, and it showed him his profile to see if he knew him or anything. He's like, man, I ain't never heard of him. Within a couple of hours, keep in mind, we didn't check in where we ate lunch. We didn't comment that we were eating lunch, having a lunch meeting, none of that stuff. Within a couple hours, Justin Fowler has found my friend's profile. He's randomly liking his pictures and sending him friend requests. Like a certified A1 stalker. I firmly believe that he was stalking me that day. That he was out here in the radio station parking lot, followed me to where we had lunch, and then somehow or another figured out who my friend was. Nothing else makes any sense. There's no other reason that he should have stumbled upon him and started sending him friend requests and liking his pictures. First off, why are you liking another man's pictures that you don't know? Gay. Ashley Anderson asked on Facebook, what is the charges? Now, he got aggravated assault is what he's actually sitting out there in jail for right now. I believe the charges that I got him on were some type of digital stalking, internet harassment, threats type stuff. So, because there's more to it, obviously, that I'm not telling y'all every detail. But he's in jail for aggravated assault. And there's video to prove it. So he keeps running around here acting like the victim and how the system wronged him and all these things. The video says otherwise, dog. The video says you a bad guy. That you are not a good person. You're not well, and you're also not a good person. Barbershop Bob says, I think you gave him the help he needs. Yeah, I was conflicted. I was conflicted about pressing charges because, A, it just don't always feel like the manliest thing to do. Sometimes you just want to handle your business. Then I thought about it. And I was like, man, you're not doing this for yourself. You're doing this for your family, and you're doing this to protect somebody else down the road. This guy's on a path to end up killing somebody and or himself if he stays free out on the streets. Because he certifiably got something wrong with him. If you just avoided a 10-year prison sentence with suspended time, and all you got to do is act right, all you got to do is not F around and find out, and within 2 weeks, you're doing the very thing that got you that 10-year sentence, there's something seriously wrong with the guy. Yes, somebody said, Maria says he sounds like he needs to be in Whitfield. I agree. He does. But I don't think he deserves Whitfield. He may need to be there, but if you saw the video of him beating his ex-wife that I saw, he needs to be in prison, not Whitfield. See what the Guns of Your text is saying. Just got a text from somebody. It says, this Justin Fowler? Yes, that Justin Fowler. Said, yes, he's nuts. He graduated from Brandon with my son. Long history of crimes. Yeah, man. He's a nut job. And then last night, because I've just been a magnet for it lately, I shared a photo. I shared a post from Jackson Police Department of the white lady and the Mexican guy being arrested for illegally dumping in Jackson. And they caught me in at a good time. I was feeling nice. I wasn't feeling very incendiary. And I shared the post and simply said, free my dog. Just being funny. Just being funny. I didn't say nothing bad about the lady. I didn't say nothing about the guy. Nothing. And y'all know I don't read my comments because it's just the negativity can absorb you if you run across a bunch of it. That doesn't mean that once in a blue moon I don't see a comment through the notifications or when I open the screen and there it is. And sometimes I'll reply to them, sometimes I won't. But apparently the lady thinks her and I know each other. And it never showed her face. It never mentioned her name in that police report, in that JPD post. But she got up in the comments arguing with people and doxing herself, proclaiming her innocence. Now, and begging me to take the post down. I didn't make the post. JPD made the post. Begged them to take it down. And then yesterday afternoon, while we're out there enjoying our dude's day, I see my business page inbox, and some guy in there just cussing me for everything I'm worth. I'm like, man, what are you talking about? And he's accusing me of being the reason people kill themselves and all kind of stuff. I'm like, man, I only post stuff about criminals, generally, rule of thumb. You know, I don't run around here taking pictures of folks. You know, it must have been a news story I shared. The lady in the litter bug and the illegal dumping video is his mom. And he's mad about my post because people are making fun of his mom in the comments. And he thinks that if I delete my post, it'll make everything go away. Like, bro, you tell me you don't know how the internet works without telling me you don't know how the internet works. It's still JPD's post. It's still going to be up there. Have you sent WLBT, WAPT, JTV, and anybody else that covered the story? Have you sent them the same DM full of threats and BS as you sent me? You know, a simple, hey man, that's my mom. Do you mind taking the post down? I'd have probably just took it down. But when you send me mile-long diatribes, dog cussing me, threatening me, and he got it right back. I ain't no punk. He got it right back. You know, I probably ain't going to take the post down. Now, I deleted the post this morning because mission accomplished, I guess. I'd rather avoid any extra drama than I have to, but it stayed up an extra 24 hours longer than it had to because of his behavior. But I'm just telling y'all this stuff because there's a severe mental health problem out there. And this guy's off at boot camp. How he passed the mental exam to get into the military, I have no clue. But that's that. I've been dealing with a bunch of crazy people lately behind the scenes of all this. So I figured I'd share that with y'all. And that'll be a warning. You know, if you're thinking about turning the internet into real life, it ain't going to end well for you. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa, and online in stunning HD at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Real quick, Lakeland Glass and Tint. See them today for all of your automotive, home, and business window tinting needs. It's getting hot outside. Get that window tint on to help bring the temperature down, your electric bill down, and the heat in the room. Well, I said that already, didn't I? They got you covered. Need your windshield replaced or repaired? They got you covered. No appointment needed on windshield rock peck repairs. at any of the locations. Check them out today, LakelandGlassandTint.com for a free quote, or give them a call. Easy number, 601-946-1000. That's Lakeland Glass and Tint. All right, so I hated to have to tell y'all about that personal stuff, but I think sometimes it's good to let people know that if you're dealing with somebody crazy, don't try to handle it yourself. Get the authorities involved. It's time to stop feeling sorry for people and start making them face some accountability. Justin Fowler, it's accountability time. Think about the lady that got killed in the McDonald's drive-thru because she was dating a crazy person. I'm going to guess that there were plenty of red flags along the way that got blown right by that led to her getting murdered in that drive-thru by that guy. I'm going to bet that he didn't go straight from loving relationship to murder. There was plenty of red flags, and based on the wife's or estranged wife or whatever's Facebook post, they knew he was crazy. Get the authorities involved. Maybe it saves your life. Maybe it saves their life. Maybe it saves somebody else's life. You just never know. You know, this ain't the first crazy person we've had to deal with on this platform, or that I've had to deal with since I started this platform. There's another one sitting out in the Hinds County jail right now for beating his grandmother. You know, I got charges pressed on him in Rankin County. If he comes over there, he's going to jail, which frankly, that reminds me, I need to let them know that he's in jail over there. I can't believe the NCIC didn't pick it up, because we do have a warrant for him in Rankin County for stalking. You got to take care of crazy people. You got to protect yourself. Ain't nobody coming to do it for you. Let's circle back to the city of Brandon trying to move the statue. This was a big hot topic yesterday. Of course, this show is the trendsetter for the day. We break the news, and then the news channels all run to follow up on what we discuss here. This being no different. WAPT, who we don't talk about a lot on this channel, I don't like them, did a story, ran out to Brandon, and did a story on the statue. So let's see what they got to say. Here we go.
On the move, a Confederate statue in Brandon could soon be moved down the road.
Brandon city leaders made the decision to take a look at relocating that Confederate statue in the heart of the city. Good evening, and thanks for joining us here at 10. I'm Megan West.
And I'm Troy Johnson. The city council made that decision at its meeting on Tuesday. 16 WAPT's Crystal Tisme spoke with city leaders and the community and has more on the impact this decision could have.
I think it's time that we get something new to uplift the city.
Sally Sims has been waiting her whole life to see a time when the Confederate statue in the heart of Brandon would find another home.
I just think that it's a good idea to be removed and maybe put in somewhere, not just completely take it away.
Raising her son, Will Sims, in Brandon, and throughout the years, he has advocated for change to bring healing to the community.
It is about cultural tradition, and I get that about what some people about, the Civil War and what it means to them. But having it right there in the heart of the city, I think it should be something that's representative of all people in the whole community. And
change may come soon. The City of Brandon Board of Aldermen voted to bring in a civil engineer to look at the statue to lay out a plan on if and how the monument could be relocated.
All right. Then I'm going to cast a vote to say aye, so we can explore this and see where it leads us. The question.
Oh, why didn't they show the part where he got caught with his pants down and had to stare at the city attorney aimlessly for almost 60 seconds after he found out he had to cast the vote?
That we wrestle with for the last number of years, and it's not a simple discussion. It's not an easy one, but if it is moved, how do you move it, and where do you move it to? How much does it cost? All of those kind of questions.
Brandon Mayor Butch Lee was the deciding vote in the matter, with hopes to preserve this piece of history.
I had someone tell me today it's been hit 3 times by an automobile. I remember 2. So it's in kind of in harm's way. And then we had, let's just say, a knothead out there in the world that came into Brandon late at night one night and took a high-powered rifle and shot the thing trying to take his head off. This is a piece of it right here.
Whose fingernails were those? Is that Butch Lee? Is that your fingernails? I'm kidding. But it's him talking, and the reporter holding a piece of the statue. And there's just been this whole thing going on online lately about men trying to normalize painting their fingernails. Like, it's not gay. It's not gay. I just like to paint my fingernails. Gay!
Trying to take his head off. This is a piece of it right here.
The monument dates back to 1907, created by the Brandon chapter of the United Daughters of Confederacy, for some representing a painful memory of the past, while others a proud symbol of their heritage. In Brandon, Crystal Tisme, 16, WAPT News.
All right, so that's the follow-up. That is the follow-up to the story there on the statue. What do you guys think? Is it going to get moved? Should it be moved? I'm not a fan, personally, of moving and trying to change history and forget history and all of that stuff. It's not my hill to die on. I told you all that yesterday. If I had had a personal vote to change the flag, I would have voted to change it. I don't like the current one. That's not the one I would have picked. I like the one with the mosquito on it. But that's just me. I've never owned a Mississippi flag. I've never flown a Mississippi flag, and I have no intentions on flying a Mississippi flag. There's only 2 flags that I fly. The red, the white, the blue that's over my shoulder here, and the FAFO. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show to land the plane for the day. Online, don't go anywhere. I'm sticking with y'all to the end. Radio, we'll be right back. Welcome back in, everybody. We got about a minute left before we land the plane for the day. I may stick with our online audience for a few extra minutes and read some of their comments online. So if you're getting out of your car, don't turn it off WYAB to do it. Mike Madison's coming up next, and he is our resident libertarian, and he is here to upset Trump supporters with his daily dose of reality radio. I love Mike. I love that he's got the balls to get on there and be honest and not just toe the party line. I may disagree with him, but I respect the Hades out of him for speaking what he considers his truth. So y'all stay tuned in for Mike. And then coming up from 10 to noon, you got Andrew Gosser, and then noon to 1, Sean and Lindsay, and then Kim Wade, 4 to 6. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. All right, guys. I'm going to stick with y'all for about 5 minutes here. Yeah, 2 hours. I can stick with y'all about 7 minutes here. If I go longer than 2 hours, it messes up all my stuff that I do on the back end with loading these videos. If they go over 2 hours, the program I use to cut it into clips and all the stuff that I do, it doesn't work if the stream lasts longer than 2 hours. I found out the other day. Apparently, I'm not paying for that plan. And I'm not paying anymore. I pay too much to do all this as it is. Let's see. I Love Offers says, could the people who hit not be able to see it? We might be able to make it a lot bigger, might help. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. To the people that hit the statue, if we made it bigger so they could see it, would that avoid them hitting it? That makes sense to me. Just make it bigger. Or how about this? How about add another one beside it of whomever they're choosing? George Floyd. We'll have the Confederate soldier, the Confederacy represented, and then we're going to have George Floyd and he has been deified. He is a saint now. Saint Floyd and Confederacy right next to each other. Everybody should be equally pissed off and happy simultaneously. I wish you had sent that comment before the radio ended and everybody else got to hear it. Let's see here. My buddy Michael just sent me something on the Guns and Gear text line. Says, Detroit TV anchor resigns after telling colleague she's tired of covering N-words killing each other. He says, if she would have just said nizzle, they would have fired her. Woo! We live in some crazy times. You know, I too am tired of covering a certain group of folks killing themselves and one another. That's why I've quit talking about it. If y'all noticed, we have talked very, very little about a certain group of people killing one another in Jackson. I told y'all a while back that we were done with the Save Jackson stuff. That didn't mean we wouldn't cover big stories here and there, but that we were done with the Save Jackson stuff. This is no longer Save Jackson. That's just the @ on my social media now, because I'm not going to give it up after I put all the work and branding I have into it and let some nut job come and use it for good intentions like, I don't know, actually wanting to save Jackson. No, not on my watch. Not on my watch. Let's see here. Charles on Facebook says, why is it always that black people only have a voice on news outlets? Why can't a white person voice their same concerns?